Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Good Time at the Movies. I'm Wyatt. That's JP. Fun episode today. We're talking about Matt Johnson's Tony, and then we're also doing our mid-ish year Oscar. I don't want to say predictions because I feel like it's our personal
No.
choices. It's just if we were to have,
Yeah.
if we're hosting the Oscars, you and I are the Academy. This is what we would choose as
Yeah.
of recording this August 25th. So do with that what you will. For the two people who care, and that might be generous, I am in the process of moving, which is why my situation looks like a tornado went through the back of my screen. So ignore that. We're here to talk about movies. Tony, I've been hyping this up for a while. I've been excited for this movie for a while. I've seen it twice now. JP, you've seen it probably the most recently. What were your
Yeah.
thoughts on my sweet baby Matt Johnson's latest film?
I liked it. I am more comfortable when Matt Johnson does kind of a more standard narrative like Blackberry and this.
Okay.
Um his shaky cinema verite mockumentary style is a lot for me. I'm sure if I rewatch Nirvana and The Dirties and his other works that I will actually
Operation Avalanche.
I haven't seen that one yet, but I'm sure it'll grow on me over time and possibly surpass Tony. But I did have a lot of fun with Tony. It's very cozy. It's very successfully cozy. It's very similar to those early 2000s, 2010s coming of age, like angsty teen movie, except this one's rated R. So I don't know how old you should be to watch this in terms of it, like, transforming your life. If you,
Yeah,
like, secretly if this is on Netflix, I hate that I'm saying that, but if this is on it drops on some streaming channel and, you see it in high school, I think this movie will change your life. It's, like, right at that kind of frequency. For me, it was, like, Kings of Summer and The Way, Way Back and Where the Wild Things Are. This movie hopefully will be that for some generation.
yeah. That's a good point because a rated R coming of age type story
Yeah,
feels almost counterintuitive, where it's like the people who are
yeah,
technically allowed to see this movie have hopefully experienced the type of feelings that this protagonist, Dominic Sessa, is portraying, who is Anthony Bourdain, is going through all those emotions of just like growing up. And he's 19, I believe, in the summer that it portrays. Yeah, so I would say we're not condoning illegal actions here, but like, hey, dude, if you're in high school, sneak out and your mom's not gonna let you see an R-rated movie for some reason, which I feel like goes out the window once you reach high school. I don't know
you'd
if
be
that
surprised some of the guys I
so
knew in high school.
well, for whatever reason your parents aren't letting you go, sneak out, go see this movie. You can
Yeah,
tell them JP and Wyatt sent you.
I should do that.
What are they gonna do? Like,
Right, yeah, yeah.
there's no repercussions for us. This is not legally binding. Tony, so I've seen it twice now, so it was very interesting seeing it a second time, watching it from a different lens. The first time, I was just excited to see, honestly, like a movie that is curated for me. It has all the
Okay.
parts that I would love. Matt Johnson is a director I'm like slowly falling in lust with, where like I have a weird relationship with him where I'm anything he does, it just feels like it's made for me and it scratches a weird itch
Mm,
where I haven't had that relationship with a director before. And so
okay.
this you always remember your first, like this feels like a first for me where I feel personally connected to this director and the journey of his filmmaking because it's still so early-ish on in his career where it just feels like
Yeah,
he's starting to hit a stride and reach a level where
yeah,
people might people outside of my little bubble might know who this is. And it's so I need to approach this review, this chat under that bias of it was very unlikely I was going to dislike this movie. Dominic Sessa is in one of my favorite movies of all time, The Holdovers, and I'm a sucker for a coming of age story. And I'm not an Anthony Bourdain guy, so I'm coming in kind of blind and excited because I know he
Mhm.
means so much to so many people. Everything was leading towards me really enjoying this movie, and I really enjoyed this movie. Like, it is right up there. It's like it's hard for me to not say this is my favorite movie of the year, knowing there are other movies that are better for whoever wants to decide what better is. Like, I just if I look back on this year, Tony is that movie for me, and I think it did so many things right, and it also subverted my expectations a little bit because I have been deep diving into Matt Johnson's career, rewatching a lot of his films, and this is the least Matt Johnson-y movie he's
Yeah.
created,
Yes. It
and
is very its own thing, yeah.
yeah, and listening to him talk about it, it seems very intentional, where he knows the style he's done up to this point, where I mean, this is the first one he's not in. He's not on camera at any
Right.
point during this
Yeah.
movie, so it's an intentional decision by him to create a movie that's different than the rest of the things he's done, which if you told me that before the movie, I'd be very worried. And when I first saw the trailer, I was a little bit worried that they were extracting the Matt Johnson out of it, and it was
Okay.
gonna be kind of bland, but it felt like he found a different groove, and he proved that he can create a more straightforward narrative and tell a story in this way that's a little more consumable for like your everyday audience. Because again, you watch Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, and you're like, wait, what the fuck is going on?
What's
The
going on? Yeah.
30s can really mess with you. Like, this is very straightforward. Like, hey, we're gonna tell the story of this kid over the summer. And I was just really impressed that he was able to make something so different from what he's used to doing and do it so well where it still felt like his. It didn't feel like he was mimicking other types of other directors, other like it just felt like still his, but a different route. And I think it was very, very cool. And yeah, this is it's probably my movie of the year, and it's gonna be hard to beat, to be honest.
That is fair. I do wanna talk about because 'cause I'm not an Anthony Bourdain person either. I've
Yeah,
seen some stuff that he of his, now I don't even think I've seen, like, a full episode of his show. Like, I
me
was
neither.
very unknowing of him until well after his death, and I think this movie works better if you're not a Bourdain person. I think this movie works very well as just this edgy kid that needs to get his ass kicked, is what the
Mhm,
movie very, like, directly says, in in the '70s, like, finding a path for the first time in his life. Or, well, I think
mhm,
he thinks he has a path, but finding a real path that means something. And for that to be, like, the origin story of a very real human being that is known to be unorthodox and kind of revolutionary, for a very cozy, standard, solid, unexperimentable movie to be about him is kind of where a lot of people are clashing with this movie. So I think if you kinda go in, like, knowing of Bourdain, but not being, like, a
mhm.
die-hard Bourdain guy, I think this movie works way better,
Yeah.
honestly.
I do think I have talked to some people who are huge fans of Bourdain and have seen this movie. I do think there is a certain amount of relief in the way this movie has the way this movie chose to represent it and go about it. Because there's a version of this movie that's a cradle to grave biopic on Anthony Bourdain,
Right.
and that
Yeah.
doesn't work. Like, that doesn't work for someone.
Yeah.
This movie just tried to capture the essence of who this person was before we knew who he was. And like you can read his stuff. Like if you want to know about Anthony Bourdain, you don't need to watch Tony. You can go read it. Like he has stuff out there. You can
Yeah.
watch his TV show. I guess this movie's really getting at like who was he before people knew who he was, and like let's try to capture that essence. And again, like you said, that doesn't have to be Anthony Bourdain. That can
But it
be
it is
anybody.
it is very, very almost not at all based on, like, a book that he wrote or a book
Yeah.
published of a collection of his writings. I don't exactly know. But it's very much like it grabs snippets of him talking and writing about his early life and
Mhm.
then creating a very standard story about it that
Yeah.
I think is done very well in the execution. Uh, but it being about like a real person, I think is where a lot of people will find some trouble with it.
Yeah. And, it's that saying of what, "Don't let the facts get in the way of the truth." Like, that's kind of
Kind
what this
of.
movie is just trying to go for. It's like, "Hey, this doesn't have to be the most factually accurate depiction of what that summer was like," because a lot of these
Mhm.
characters are kind of combinations of a few different people that Bourdain would have worked in. He worked in multiple restaurants, not just one during the summer.
Right.
Like, I think the goal is probably just, hey, let's capture the magic of that because there is a magic
Yeah.
behind Anthony Bourdain that people hold really sacred, and that's why when this movie was
Yes.
first announced,
Yes.
everyone was like, "Please don't do this because we are like we hold this man in such high regard, and we want to protect this image."
Yeah.
I've seen a decent amount of positive feedback from that audience of, "Hey, I'm a big Anthony Bourdain fan. I really, like, gravitate towards him, and this does him justice, like, in terms of this is probably what it was like." Like, in again, not the most factually accurate way, but it captures it.
Yeah, I think it's that the soul of the experience is kind of what either you nail it or you miss it. And I think there are parts of this film because like I waited tables at a restaurant for a year. I was never behind back in the kitchen. I never crossed that line. Those guys have knives. Like you don't cross that line.
Mhm,
Actually, one of the hostesses did, and the hot station guy uh kind of chewed into her. And I just sat back and I watched it. I was like, hey, you shouldn't have done that.
yeah,
But, it is crazy, like, watching them work, especially during, like, a dinner rush where just everything goes wrong, and to see how they push through, and also a lot of the at least a lot of the, kitchen people I know, they work in multiple restaurants. They do a lunch shift, and then they drive halfway across town to do a dinner shift. Like, it is hard work, and yes, there is a lot of cocaine, even to this day. If nope, not gonna finish that sentence. A lot of cocaine in restaurants. Um, yeah, so I kinda, like, went in not as, like, "I've been there."
mhm.
I've seen through the bartender looks through the window. I've seen through that window. I have, and I wanted to know, like, how much I would feel from this, and the funny thing is the most I felt was when they were washing the ketchup bottles and refilling the salt, because 'cause I've done that.
Best scene in the movie.
It's one of the best scenes in the movie, yeah, because it's Antonio Banderas and Dominic Sessa.
Mhm.
Antonio Banderas is so good. Like, every 5 years or something, he, like, pops back in to the spotlight to be like, "Hey, I am a real actor. Like, I know what I'm doing,"
Yeah,
and knocks the socks off of it, and for Dominic Sessa to be as good as Antonio Banderas in, like, his 2nd big movie
yeah.
is just crazy. 2nd, it's his 2nd big
Now you
movie?
three me. Now you three me.
I have no idea what that is.
He's
Now
the
you
3rd now you
he's
see
in
me
it?
3. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So,
He's one
you're
they
right, it
had
is
the
his 3rd
younger
one.
kids, but yeah. He was
But
also in some really bad Christmas movie, I believe, but I see
he's
what
done
you're
2
saying.
Christmas movies?
No, yeah, he did a different Christmas movie, I'm pretty sure, and I
Weird.
think nobody saw it. I'll look it up, but
Well,
he's
I
in
mean,
2.
this movie's not exactly making a lot of money either.
Okay, we don't need a pocket watch here. Come on. Sorry.
But it's I think this movie really shines, at least that, like, magic, that the intangibles, the soul of it, uh, with Antonio Banderas's character and, that whole thing where the all the guys go out into the water to get the striper bass, and they
Yeah.
have the nets in the water, and that is when, like, the rhythm and the energy of the movie really picked up for me,
Okay.
I
That's
think the
late.
camera well, I think it's well done, but that sequence is when it gets to a new level. I think it's
Okay.
the camera movement, I think goes more handheld, and we're moving, we're running down the beach, and it's like moonlit, but he has the yellow jacket, and then they hop into the boats, and you could barely see the fish, but they're hauling them in, and then Antonio Banderas with the shotgun,
It's awesome.
and all of the beach scenes I think are great. This movie makes you wanna move to Cape Cod, like,
Mhm.
tonight. And that is the mark of a good movie where it's like, I wanna live in this movie.
Yeah.
Maybe not like back in the kitchen, but that kind of feeling of young, like he's sleeping in a hammock. This kid is not doesn't really fit in. He shouldn't actually be there, but because he's found a way, there is a life meant for him there. Not a long-term life, but,
Mhm.
like, that summer he will remember for the rest of his days. And I think that the movie very successfully accomplishes that feeling of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you mentioned Dominic Sessa, Antonio Banderas operating at an incredibly high level. And honestly, I think neither are my favorite performance in this movie. I think Leo Woodall is
Oh
like
my gosh. Yeah.
he has such a there's a gravitational pull towards him in this character
Yeah.
immediately. And like he's the biggest scumbag you can have, yet you can't help but like you love this guy right away.
He plays lovable douchebag so flawlessly.
It's unbelievable.
It I'm sitting in this movie thinking, Glenn Powell's career is at stake. Like, he there's danger nipping at his heels, and it is Leo Woodall. Like,
Yeah.
whenever he gets, like, his big break, because he's in Tuner, he leads Tuner.
Mhm.
I wanna talk about
I
Tu
still haven't seen it.
I
Yeah.
wanna talk about Tuner for the halfway
Oh,
through Oscar thing we're doing. He is one extra movie away from being as big as Glenn Powell, and I think he actually has more leading man charisma and energy and just magic that
yeah.
Glenn Powell doesn't have. I think
Yeah.
Glenn Powell is good as, like, a supporting, snarky character, and I think he does that great, and I think he really works in, like, a rom-com. He needs someone else to feed the energy off of. Leo Woodall can do it all on his own.
Yeah.
I think he is fantastic in both this and Tuner.
Yeah. He is the first time I watched this movie when I mean, so for me, you talk about like when you really like start to feel like the energy of this movie a little later on. For me, it was when you had your little montage of Tony and I think his name was Sal, Leo Woodall's character,
I think so, yeah.
when they're just like on their little run of doing hood like just
Oh, hijinks.
great
Yes.
hijinks, crazy
Yes.
stuff where it's like
Yeah.
you like you love the energy of it, and, like, you know this is like, "Hey, this is not gonna end well," but you are pulling for these 2 because you just love the energy that they're providing, and when he left in that scene in the kitchen or, like, we're talking spoilers of this movie now.
Yeah, yeah.
He has this scene in the kitchen where Tony Banderas just not let people be late, and that's kind of just a running through line for this whole movie. He hates people late,
Yep.
being late, and you see Tony looking up at the clock, realizing Sal's late, and you have that interaction, get a couple punches thrown. And oh, dude, I think my favorite line delivery is Antonio Banderas after getting punched, and Leo Widdow's like, "Punch me, come on, hit me," and he just looks at me, he's like, "No, but I like you."
Yeah, yeah, that's a good
He
oh, he's so good in that
he's like,
scene.
"I
Yeah.
like you," and then he calls him the what is it, the sin eater or
Sin Eater, yeah,
sin eater. Oh
yeah,
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 unreal, so good.
yeah.
But when Leo Woodall's character leaves, I felt it. Like
You feel it,
I was
yes.
like, something's missing. Where I'm missing a piece of me
Yeah.
in this part of the movie. And you're like, please come back. And then eventually you get to a point you kind of forget, and then he does come back, and you're like, oh yeah, I love him. Wait, why?
Yeah, it's the devil and the angel on
Yeah,
Tony's shoulders. It's Antonio Banderas's character and Leo Woodall's character.
yeah,
It's the strive for something better, something bigger, strive for perfection, and, break shit and do what you want.
Yeah. Well, it's like you
Like
see him
yeah.
when you see him the second time when he comes back, it's kinda interesting. The first time, a lot of their fun moments are at night. They're going to parties, they're drinking, and it's
Yeah.
almost like you see him in the light now. You see him in a totally different light. He's out on the boardwalk, they're passing out flyers, and you're kind of like, "Oh, yeah, this guy's a douchebag. Like, this guy's not a good person." And
Right.
you got caught up in the magic of it earlier in the movie. Just like, "I love this guy." You see like, "I wanna hang
He's
out with him." And
he's a
then you see him
terrible
like,
influence, but he
"Wait."
is so, so charming. He
Yeah.
is a charmer. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
unreal. And I wanna give a shout out to Stavi. Uh,
He's
also
good. I
the other
like
member
him.
like, is
I
he
like
just
him.
and he keeps working with very like, he was in Begonia,
He was great in
fine
Begonia.
he's great
Yeah.
in Begonia, he's great in here, like, we're reaching a point where Stavi just might be a good actor, which is wild.
I think both of those movies, though, like Yorgos Lanthimos and now Matt Johnson, kinda know how to direct non-actors,
Mm,
and I think Stavros was doing a lot of just kind of his usual shtick
yeah,
in a way that it worked great. The bit with the crab claw, hilarious.
yeah.
I think he is either the projects are choosing him correctly or he is choosing the projects correctly. Like, if he works with I I don't know, like, if he was in the next Ridley Scott movie, he would be horrible. He would be so bad because
Yeah.
he still needs that extra hand of, like, the director knowing he is a non-actor, knowing he has a very specific personality, and knowing where to put him.
He would be so good in a Safdie movie.
He would, yes, he would.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that feels right. That's gonna happen. It's gonna happen in the next
it
5 years. He's gonna be in a
yeah,
Safdie movie.
yeah, probably.
Which I do believe Matt Johnson and it's Josh, right? Yeah. Josh are loosely attached to work together on a movie, which
Josh or Benny?
Josh,
Okay.
Uncut Gems, Josh, right?
Well, that was both of them.
Sorry, not Uncut Gems, Marty Supreme,
Oh, yeah, that's Josh. Yeah.
Josh, yeah. Which stylistically makes a lot of sense for me. There's a little like I don't know. I could see that working out, and I know Josh Safdie's maybe not the best PR the last year or so. So
No, so that's the thing, Matt Johnson's on the rise. Is that a good career move to
yeah.
start hanging out with Josh? Probably not.
Oh, and like
Yeah.
the more I listen to Matt Johnson, I don't. He seems so hesitant to like embrace being a like popular director.
Mm, yeah,
Like he's like, I want to do what I want to do, and like even talking about making Tony, he was like, I needed to prove myself like I can make this type of movie because he knew, hey, I'm on the rise here, and he could
yeah.
feel it. He was like, I want to prove I can do this without any of my gimmicks, like the mockumentary
Mm, yeah,
style.
yeah.
And now he's making a Magic the Gathering movie right now. He was like,
Oh, is that what it
hey,
is?
yeah, that's not the Safdie one.
Oh, okay.
Very different one. But he was talking. It was on the big picture, I believe. He was like, yeah, I wanted to prove I could do this, so I can go do this movie, and then I can always return. Like I want to start at zero, like no gimmicks, none of my normal stuff that like
Mhm.
my crutches that I lean on. See if I can do this, and then build from that. So again, I'm buying all the Matt Johnson stock in the world. Whatever he makes, I will be seated for. Um, what else about this movie? We talked about all the performances. You mentioned there's a few things that maybe don't work for you in this movie. I'm guessing
I would
it
say the
more
one
towards the
thing
3rd act,
I
but
would say the one thing that, I thought was fine because it kind of fits this genre, um, but, like, at this point in 2026, it's like, we could do better, and we have, is, the love interest just only being a love interest. She could have been more because that actress, she's in, Coda.
mm,
She's great,
yeah,
and, like, I think the cast in this movie, fantastic. I think the wardrobe is better than One Night Only. Like, I like the One Night Only wardrobe because it's just fun, and it knows what
yeah,
it is. I think this movie being period piece, being Cape Cod, being kind of like kitchen dudes with no money versus, like, preppy kids from college. I think it's doing that dynamic very well. Some of the especially, what's her name is, like,
Amelia Jones.
Amelia Jones. The dress she wears to the restaurant is like, "Oh, so you do wanna fuck fuck 'em." Like, it's the some of the outfits that she wears and he wears very much describe, like, where they're stuck on this island, um, because she works at a pizza shop and she's sleeping with the pizza guy, but then she's hosting this great big, like, college party and, like, "Oh, dude, the pizza guy is here," and it's
Yeah,
like everyone's treating him like a cool island local, and it's like, yeah, she's sleeping with that guy. Like, it's
yeah,
that dynamic that I think is expressed in the wardrobe, which is really cool, and when she shows up in that dress, it's like, "Oh, okay, alright, pizza guy is history, I see."
yeah,
I think her performance is really good. Like, again, it's that coziness and the way they use, again, like, sunset on the beach, and she's
mhm,
got a vintage camera. It's like, that is so, like, the vibe of this coming of age, more male-focused genre. It's
mhm,
exactly what it is and what it needs to be, but there are movies like Almost Famous, where the woman, the center of the movie, there are layers and tragedy to her character on how all the men in the movie wanna fuck her, and that is like, they don't see her, they just want her, and this movie is just kind of like, she's the love interest. It does it
yeah,
well, but it's not as deep as the other characters, I think.
yeah. No, I would agree there, and, I think that's been a criticism of probably Matt Johnson, but also, like, none of his other movies, there's not a lot of female characters in his other
I
movies.
I'm fine with him being, like, the next Bro-ish
Yeah.
director because I
But,
think
like, I don't think that's his
he has a
that's
lot
what
of
he's hitting.
nuance. He
Yeah.
is really good at, uh, kind of creating a lot of emotion and energy, so I think he's great.
Mhm.
I think this character is more, an after effect of him committing to this genre, this feeling,
Yeah.
than anything else. Yeah.
She does provide maybe my favorite single quote of the movie when, Tony goes to help her at the pizza shop one night, and they're just working away, and he I forget what he does, but he says, like, some big word, and he's like, "Sorry, it's just this annoying thing that my mom does." And she's like, "Okay, then why do
Yeah.
you do it?" And, like, that right there
Yeah.
is so simple, is so on the nose, but it speaks so much to, like, I think what to a lot of people, personal experience, but, like, to Tony in the movie, his experience is like, "Oh, yeah, why do I do that? It's this annoying thing my mom
Yeah.
does, but I'm
Yeah.
still it's still me." So, I don't know,
Yeah.
I liked the performance,
Super
you're right.
interesting thing about, the mom, at least later in the movie, you've seen it twice, so maybe you know about the start of
Mhm.
the movie. When they're at the dinner table, there's a lot of they call it like a dirty single where, like, you're filming someone and someone else's shoulder is in frame
Yeah,
and it's blocking, like, the camera.
yeah. There's a
Um,
lot of that in this
there's
movie.
a lot of that in this movie, especially with the mom. Like, in the later scenes where, like, he goes back home, there's never, like, a full shot of her. She's half of her face is covered by Dominic Sessa's shoulder. And that's a very interesting, approach to that shot because that's, like, the first shot that she actually is impressed by him. She looks down at him for the whole start of the movie, and then he comes back and he actually has experiences and memories and has learned things, and there's, like, that twinkle in her eye where she's like, "Oh my god, he's finally something." And he covers up half the shot, half of her face. In shadow. I found very interesting. I don't remember if the first dinner scene with her, if her face is covered up or not. I remember being a lot of dirty singles, but I don't know if it was her shots or if it was the brother and the dad's.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's very similar from the first. I'm, like, really struggling for whatever reason to remember much of the parents' at like once he leaves Provincetown. Like I don't even remember that scene. For me, it's like he leaves
It's
and
a
then he's
it's
back.
a quick little scene.
Okay.
It's like a couple shots of him doing shucking the oysters at their dinner table, basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I I think that is another talking point that's been brought up is like Anthony Bourdain really never mentioned any of that dynamic with his mother that Matt
Mm,
Johnson kind of seems to be using his own personal experience a lot. He talks about that a
mm.
lot. There's a
Okay.
lot in all his movies. It's kind of a common theme. Um, but yeah, I think that's well done, whether it's
Mhm.
accurate towards Anthony Bourdain's experience or not. I think that part of the movie works for me too because he's
It felt kinda similar to Back to the Future, the dynamic in Back to the
mm,
Future where the dad is an absolute loser,
yeah,
complete nobody, and the mom is just mad at where she is in the world
yeah.
and mad at what she sees in front of her. Um, yeah, kinda like that weird dynamic where the husband just doesn't shut up, and she sits back and she's like, "It's Bildungsroman,
He's
it's
Roman.
one
Yeah,
word."
like kindergarten.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like kindergarten. That was
yeah,
a great burn. She's like,
yeah,
"I hope you wrote it as one word," and he's just, like, sitting at the plate like, "I did not."
yeah. So good. I really enjoyed this movie. It's gonna be a movie that I can easily rewatch and, like,
Oh, yes.
I feel like I can watch this every year and just,
Yeah,
like, have a great time with it regardless of the
yeah.
time. So, yeah, that's I'll kinda leave it at that unless there's anything else you wanna talk about before we get to Oscar stuff.
I mean, did the food look tasty to you? Like, there are movies
Uh,
about
yeah.
cooking and, like, Ratatouille especially, like, you wanna eat Ratatouille, and then you look at the ingredients for Ratatouille, and you're like, "Oh, that doesn't sound good at all," but apparently it
The
is good.
lobster, like, the special,
Lobster. Yeah.
thermidor, is that what it was called?
I think that's what they called it, yeah.
Whatever that was, that got me hungry.
Have
I
you
was
have you ever gone to, like, a boil, like a crayfish boil or
no.
oh my god. So, I think my, like, last week of college, one of my former roommates, he's from Texas, but his family I think he has, like, a family in New Orleans or something, but, he bought, like, a full bag of crawfish, and he boiled it and, like, with, like, the corn and the potatoes and the spices in, like, a giant tub, and then on one table with a huge long tablecloth, he, like, divvied it out, and we started eating it while we were doing, like, beer pong. It was, like it's literally
Awesome.
one of my favorite experiences from college. So when they had the metal trash bin buried in the sand and the coals and, like, doing all of that stuff, I was like, I could taste that. That I could taste. And
Yeah,
also just Leo Woodall just kinda, like, just shucking oysters off frame, but the little shells are like, "Boop, boop, boop, boop."
yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
Crazy.
There are some really good moments towards the end, and I understand some gripes I've been seeing is, like, the 3rd act is a little fluffy, maybe for a better word, like, or convenient, where you're gonna
Yeah.
shoehorn a kitchen fire, and you gotta save the kitchen now, like, I get that, but it also led to some of my favorite moments, like the conversation between Tony Banderas and Dominic Sessa on the beach, where you
Yeah.
basically like, "You are nothing,"
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
"I am an idiot for like believing you," and like just
Yeah.
like that, whew, cuts so deep. And then that moment of Leo Woodall's character at the clam bake when he's leaving, and just that moment where the
Yeah.
camera stays on him. He's
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
"Okay,
Yeah.
alright." He's not even, like, upset about it. He's like, "I get it. You're gonna give the money away," and like, "'Kay, cool.
Yep.
See
Yep.
ya in another life."
I think the kitchen fire scene, I mean, it's literally an Icarus moment.
Yeah,
Like, Antonio Banderas' character trusts that Tony has worked in a kitchen before, knows the rules. He trusts him, he never checks on it, and both of them think they can step above what this restaurant is, and both of those, mistakes or both of those arrogant arrogant choices catch them at the exact same time. And
Yeah.
to make it about, like, fire and burning and falling, it's very Icarus coded, and I think it works. I have no qualms about that scene
Yeah.
because it is very much like if you actually work in a kitchen, you know how to deal with fire, you know how to deal with burnt food, you know how to deal with that internal clock in your head about, "I'm working on 4 different dishes. I know where each one is at their stage." He doesn't know that. So, he finally steps up and he finally goes too far. All he knows is how to shuck oysters. That's all he does. He doesn't cook the lobsters. He doesn't do anything. So the fact that he becomes like the second chef and he touches the stove once, immediately it bursts into flames because he doesn't know any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I think that scene is fine.
Okay.
It's sure it's very much like a third act scene, like the
Yeah.
dark of the soil, turning point, save the cat, whatever. I think it works.
Yeah. I think almost everything about this movie works for me. It's my movie of the year. We'll see if it gets replaced by anything in the second half